The word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. Every form of addiction is bad, no matter whether the narcotic be alcohol or morphine or idealism. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. In all chaos, there is a cosmos, in all disorder, a secret order. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Children are educated by what the grown-up is, and not by his talk. It all depends on how we look at things, and not how they are in themselves. The pendulum of the mind alternates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. Man needs difficulties. They are necessary for health. The healthy man does not torture others. Generally, it is the tortured who turn into torturers. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. The least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. Knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but upon error also. There is no such thing as a pure introvert or extrovert. Such a person would be in the lunatic asylum. As far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. A particularly beautiful woman is a source of terror. As a rule, a beautiful woman is a terrible disappointment. There is no birth of consciousness without pain. The debt we owe to the play of imagination is incalculable. Shrinking away from death is something unhealthy and abnormal, which robs the second half of life of its purpose. Man is not a machine that can be remodeled for quite other purposes as occasion demands, in the hope that it will go on functioning as regularly as before, but in a quite different way. He carries his whole history with him. In his very structure is written the history of mankind. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. It is a fact that cannot be denied. The wickedness of others becomes our own wickedness, because it kindles something evil in our own hearts. We should not pretend to understand the world only by the intellect. The judgment of the intellect is only part of the truth. Understanding does not cure evil, but it is a definite help, inasmuch as one can cope with a comprehensible darkness. When an inner situation is not made conscious, it appears outside as fate. Man's task is to become conscious of the contents that press upward from the unconscious. The man who promises everything is sure to fulfill nothing, and everyone who promises too much is in danger of using evil means in order to carry out his promises, and is already on the road to perdition. Neurosis is always a substitute for legitimate suffering. I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. Thinking is difficult, that's why most people judge. The best political, social, and spiritual work we can do is to withdraw the projection of our shadow onto others. The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego. The second half is going inward and letting go of it. Nights, through dreams, tell the myths forgotten by the day. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, there love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. If one does not understand a person, one tends to regard him as a fool. If there is anything that we wish to change in the child, we should first examine it and see whether it is not something that could better be changed in ourselves. We deem those happy who from the experience of life have learned to bear its ills without being overcome by them.